Hey, it's Joey D, and welcome to my podcast, Joey D's Golfing Journey. Now let's talk some golf, sit back, relax, and have some fun. What is up, my friends? Welcome to episode number 9 of Joey D's Golfing Journey, the podcast. You know I just made my last podcast like 5 days ago, and I normally don't do them this quickly, but, it was a special weekend. It was Ryder Cup weekend. Also, we had a major at my home course. So there was a lot going on in the golf world and in my golf world. Let's get started. First of all, let's talk about what is going on with me. So we played this weekend in the, it's called the Fall Classic, and it's basically a 2-man event, and you play, the first day you play best ball, so like 4-ball on the front 9, and then the back 9 you play a 2-man scramble, and then next day you reverse it, where you do the scramble first, and then you do the 4-ball the next time. Well, me and my partner, JT, we have won it more than once in the past, but I can't explain what's going on with our golf games this year. Like I said, I started the year in the single digits. I'm up to an 11 point whatever, and JT struggled, and it's just a miserable display of golf, and so it was still a load of fun. My boy Kevin, you see him on the videos. Him and his partner, Eben, they actually won. We had a gross division and a net division. We were obviously in the net division. And, they won. Kevin played great on the back 9 on Sunday. He was like, God, on the back 9, he was 4 under on his own ball going into 15. And he double bogeyed 15 and double bogeyed 16, something like that. And then he ended up... so he was even par going to 18, and he took a bogey on 18, or double, maybe even double on 18. He shot 37, so which is still a great 9 holes for him. But man, I thought he was going low, and I was rooting for him. Kevin's like a 14 or 15 handicap, so it was really cool to see him play that well. So what I really want to talk about is the Ryder Cup. Another loss for the USA. I'm not really sure what to say. People, they all become golf critics, right? They all want to question, what the captain did, and they shouldn't have put this person with that person, or shouldn't have picked this guy for the team over that guy. Blah blah blah. The bottom line is the United States, they haven't won shit. I mean, we have miserably failed at the Ryder Cup, except for what? We won 4 years ago, but I think they said we've lost like the last 9 out of 12 or something ridiculous like that. Well, what the fuck's going on? And it's so funny because in the President's Cup, we just dominate. I mean, they're all pro golfers. I just think when it comes down to it, I think for the Europeans, I think it means more. I think they just play with more intensity. I'm not saying that the Americans don't want to win, because I'm sure they do, but they never seem to pull it out. And they always, these days, find themselves behind the 8-ball after, the first day. And then the second day, they need to come out and they need to fire back. It seemed like, now, I don't want to take anything away from the European team, because they were throwing darts. And I swear to God, they could have gotten up and down out of a paper bag. They could have closed their eyes, putted behind their back, and they still would have gone in. I had never seen such an exhibition of golf as I saw from that European team this past weekend. They did everything. I mean, they just stuck it. They putted it, Everything went in. They got up and down from it. Any kind of momentum the USA would get, the Europeans would kill it. They would just you'd get a little glimmer of hope for like half a hole. Now I'm talking like on Friday and Saturday, right? And you think, okay, here we come. And then boom, next thing you know, the Americans cut it down to like, I don't know, 1 up or 2 up, that they were down. And then next thing you know, they're like 3 and 4 down. It was just mind-boggling to me. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing out there. And it was like, Jesus. And then, they come up firing on all cylinders on Sunday, right? And they won. They only lost 1 match on Sunday, but that basically needed a clean sweep, right? And I don't know, what to think about the whole Victor Hovland thing. I know that's the rules of the Ryder Cup. Each team is awarded a half a point. At the end of the day, that half a point wouldn't have meant anything in the final score, right? Because I think, the Europeans won 15-13. So even if the Americans had managed to, even if they had won that match, I think it just would have ended up being 15-14. Yeah. So the bottom line is that it didn't end up being an impact in the final results, and that's why the Europeans wanted to not only retain the cup, they wanted to win, because they did not want any questions about Victor Hovland and him sitting out and the half a point going to each side. And I don't listen. If Victor Hovland was hurt, he was hurt. I got to believe that these guys make the Ryder Cup they want to play. And Victor Hovland's a solid player. So, no, he wasn't having a great year this year, but he's still a solid player. And I got to believe he wanted to be out there. And so, there's that. I don't know what to make of the fans at Bethpage. I think that some of that was a bit of an embarrassment to us. There was a lot of lines that were crossed. My God, beer was thrown at Rory McIlroy's wife. They had those squeaking ducks going on, as the guys were standing over the balls. There was, like Rory said in the post-conference, the post-play conference, Jesus Christ, the post-conference interview. I can't say it right. Oh, God almighty. The press conference afterwards, after the play, right? He said most of the fans were respectful, but there were some that really crossed the line. And, he had backed off. He told that one fan to shut the fuck up. And, it was getting pretty nasty out there. And I really think that the PGA is going to have to really consider bringing it back to Bethpage. That's not the first time that there has been problems with the fans at Bethpage. I'm not trying to throw a whole area under put a wet blanket over something, but the fact of the matter it is what it is. They taunt the players from the sidelines, and some of that shit just really crosses the line. The European fans give it to the American fans. When we go over there, the European fans give it to the American players when we go over there. But there never seems to be that anything to like cross the line. I don't remember ever seeing an American player, back away and have to turn to a European crowd and say, shut the fuck up, or whatever they needed to do. The fans were brutal. It was nice having the home fans, in your corner. But man, oh man, those fans were pulling hard for the United States. Yeah, they crossed the line, but even still, the USA couldn't get it done. Again, it's discouraging. I don't know what they need to do. I don't know what kind of retooling they need to do. You can question the captain, the captain's pick every year. You can question who they have as a captain. There's so many things that people go back and want to second guess and play kind of armchair quarterback. But the fact of the matter is that we're losing and we keep losing, and I don't know what to do to change it. The Europeans make the putts when they have to. They hit the shots when they have to, and they just are clutch. And they were clutch. It's not like the USA played bad. I think everybody wants to say, "Oh, the United States sucked. They sucked," but they didn't. They didn't. So I don't know if you guys know this, but so the Europeans set a scoring record in, I want to say, one of the sessions. It's either the 4-ball or the alternate shot. I don't know which one. They set a record at shooting a total of 16 under par. Okay. The Americans matched that record the next day and still lost, which means the Europeans beat the Ryder Cup record of 16 under the next day. The Americans tied that record and still lost. I mean, how can you look at it and say anything else other than the Europeans just played better golf? They were unbelievable. It kills me. Listen, it kills me to watch the Ryder Cup and watch us lose every year. It drives me insane. Lose every other year. It drives me insane. And, I watched on Sunday because I wanted to just keep the faith. But really, it was a foregone conclusion that they were going to lose. But, my God, they did make it entertaining on Sunday, didn't they? So, it'd be interesting to see what you guys think of all that, about what I'm saying. Please, tell me in your comments. And I appreciate it. Let's talk about the YouTube channel a little bit. I am at 436 subscribers, and I've been stuck there for 3 or 4 days. I am going down the rabbit hole right now on YouTube of how to grow your channel. Do this in 2025. Go do this setting. Guaranteed 1,000 subscribers in a week if you do this. I'm going down this rabbit hole like crazy. I bought an online course about how to be a better YouTuber. I did go out and buy some software. It's called Canva. So I'm trying to make some thumbnails because every one of the so-called YouTube experts say that the thumbnail is probably one of the most important things in making a video. And so I have gone out and I've put some thumbnails on some of my videos. And, right now I'm not seeing a difference yet. I was disappointed that I didn't pick up any subscribers over the weekend. I got that Scotty Cameron putter that I want to give away. But I'm not giving it away until I hit 1,000 viewers. And that's not trying to bribe you to become my subscribers. I'm not trying to bribe you with that. It's just that I feel like that club, a Scotty Cameron putter, to give somebody that gift, I think should come with some sort of goal to reach. And it's sort of like it's going to be my huge thank you to the subscribers of Joey D's Golf Journey when I reach 1,000 subscribers. And I say when because I'm determined I'm going to do it. But it's going to sit down here in the basement with me until I reach that subscriber, 1,000 subscribers. I don't know how long that's going to take. I promise that I will keep researching and taking classes and learning how to make better quality videos, or just keep improving on the content that I'm making. It's really cool. I've been seeing my videos. Like I said, Lazarus has been using my videos on social media. So you may have seen Joey D come across your screen talking about the Lazarus hybrids, which I think is so freaking cool. I feel like it's like my 15 minutes of fame, but I get so excited when I see them. Thanks to I really want to thank Lazarus Golf because, I thank them every podcast, by the way, as you notice. But, they're a huge supporter and, they're using my stuff in their promotional videos and they send me stuff to review. Colt, the owner, has just been fantastic to me. And I'm always willing to pay for, and it's not like he gives me stuff for free. I pay for shipping, but I would pay full price for these clubs and still do it because, first of all, they're reasonably priced. And second of all, I'm not out here looking for anything for free. I did reach out to McGregor Golf, and I reached out to Ben Hogan, because they're now direct to consumer. They both told me to kind of go shit in my hat. You're not big enough, which I don't blame them. 400 something subscribers is not a big YouTube channel, but I love doing this. I do. Now, it'll probably never replace my full-time job, but maybe someday it will. Who knows? I never say never. The minute I stop doing it is the minute I fail. The minute you quit doing something is the minute you fail doing something. And if you have a dream and it's something you love to do, you don't quit. You don't quit. I'm not discouraged by the numbers. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged because I can't believe 436 people were willing to subscribe to my channel and listen to me, do this podcast and Babylon and videos and stuff like that. And I'm really thankful for that. And, on Joey D's golf journey, it's real, authentic, amateur, golf, right? And it's raw its form. I'm having a tough time talking today, right? So, I'm going to make whatever videos I feel like making, and I listen to whatever you guys suggest, and we keep going from there. And we're going to keep growing from there. But like I said, I haven't had any new subscribers sign up in like 4 or 5 days, and I don't know what's going on there with the algorithm. But we'll keep going. We'll keep plugging away. I may have made some changes that I shouldn't have made based on going down that rabbit hole of watching all those videos, but whatever. So I do want to talk about a couple things that are going to be coming up on October 30th, that's a month from now. I'm recording this podcast on September 29th. I'll be doing a head-to-head match with a scratch golfer, and I'll be playing with my full handicap. So it'll be, hey, what can an 11 or a 12 or whatever I am, how can I compete with a scratch golfer if I use my full handicap? It will not be match play. It'll be stroke play, and it's going to be fun. And I'm making this with a gentleman. His name is Matt Easton, and he's a solid player. Like I said, he's scratch. He shoots in the 60s all the freaking time. It's amazing. And it'll be a tough match regardless of how many strokes I get. If I don't play semi-decent, I'm going to lose. If I play to my potential, I should win. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I'm excited to make that video. Also, I got I don't want to give it away, but I got a shaft that's on its way to me. That's supposed to be the longest and straightest shaft out in golf, and blah blah blah. We're gonna do a review of that, and I'm trying to get the 7-wood from Lazarus to do a review of that. So there's some good things coming up. I want you guys to comment in this podcast. If you've listened this far, thank you. Give me your suggestions. Always willing to listen. And I do a lot of stuff based off your suggestions. I listen to what you are asking me for, and then I do it. And so I know a lot of people ask for the encore stuff, but ironically, they don't get a lot of views. Some of them do. I mean, the first video I ever made of me just sitting and talking about Lazarus hybrids has got the most views. It's at like 8.2 thousand. It's ridiculous. It's just me sitting in front of a camera talking about Lazarus hybrids. So I know the reviews do really well, and I know that the encore stuff does okay. But, we will continue to do so. And so, once again, hey, thanks for listening to me Babylon about golf and the Ryder Cup and things to come. We're getting, I probably have a good 2 months maybe left of the golf season. And then we're going to have to move in and start doing simulator stuff. So I got to come up with some ways to entertain you guys over the winter. I will continue to make this podcast. I get about 80, 90 listens a podcast, and that's okay with me. I just get out. I love getting out here and joining playing golf. Anything that's going to bring people in, right? So thanks again for listening. This is Joey D from Joey D's Golf Journey. I want you guys to have a great day, hit them straight, and continue to have fun. Take it easy.